Watch me take off all the new paint in one go. Back in the day, what I would have done with any exhaust manifold that we had problems with studs is I would have taken said studs, snapped or otherwise, and I would have a nice piece of threaded 8mm bar, cut it to length, shaped it up a bit and used that. I'm not even worried about it. What you're supposed to do with these is you're supposed to buy the kit, which is copper nuts, rustiest copper nuts I've ever seen. Mind you, perhaps they do oxidize in heat with heat. Yeah, probably do. Copper nuts. I think these are like these bushes or something. Not quite what I was expecting either. Anyway, so yes, back to what I would have done was just got that threaded 8mm bar and used that. Wouldn't have worried about it. This stuff is a bit different, and I know that it does have a tendency not to like that type of thing. And of course, when you're dealing with a magnesium, and I've put that bloody gasket down. Oh my God! There they are. I've got to remember which one of these goes where. So you can't really get it wrong. I can see me squaring up the slots.
I guess we'll be fine as long as no one tells the press. I know that I love you. I just hope that you love me. When are you gonna take me home? Meet your folks and have some tea. Spray me blue, you gotta spray me blue. You gotta spray me blue. Spray me blue, you gotta spray me blue. Gonna keep me here, gotta spray me.
So, what have we got here? Drop of the good stuff. It's already great. Oh, I always make a mess with this stuff. Right. Oh, of course. It never goes. How did I get this in yet? Ah, okay. Okay. There we go. Well, how that is supposed to make any difference on there? There's no slot cut in it, no nothing. Right, okay, you come under there. That's all right there, so what's stopping that going up there? It's not, it is you. Right. I'm gonna cheat. Cheat! that is on there. So now what we're going to do, but that won't be, I think that'll be one of the last jobs we do. Right, so exhaust, that can stay off until I run it. I reckon handlebars. We've got a bit of stuff going on here. But yeah, I think that we should be able to put the handlebars back on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just line them up, make sure they're alright and everything, and then I know that there's going to be a certain order to assembling all of that malarkey, so that's what we'll go with. As with the exhaust, it'll probably be trial and error because we've slept since I took it apart. Right, so that we can put on separately. That is clutch. That is your decomp, which does need to go in a certain place. Good start, good start, good start. Watch me take off all the new paint in one go. Right, you can't. Oh, what's that?
So many things to do, yet I waste my life away. Maybe I could try to find all the good things locked inside. I find the things that are gonna hold me back. What if I could, but I can't?
Of course, this bit isn't actually original to the bike. What with it being an MT500, which came fitted with a cable operated Fisher Price drum brake. Oops, didn't want to do that. Right, that fits okay on there. That works okay on there, although I may have to adjust that. In fact, I'm probably going to do that now, because that will just mean that
what if I could, but I can't? Now I feel like a little tired, 'cause all I do is sleep. Yeah, I know what I gotta do, I know what I gotta keep. Maybe I could try to find all the shit that's locked inside. I killed all the things that hold me back. And what if I could, but I can't? And what if I could, but I can't? easy. Would you send someone to rescue me?
Have we got the proper battery to fit in the hole? It looks good. It looks... yeah, I'd go with that. Of course, it's going to need... is that the best? Come up. Okay. Oh, what? How have you ended up down there? What's my tray out now? I've put it in without that. Where are we with stretch? Good question. There is a reasonable amount of work left to do. A lot of it is just putting it back together. I want to check a few things out before I button everything up. The headlight assembly and everything, 10 minutes. Got to remember to put the choke back on it, the choke lever back on it. Before I button all of that up fully, put the cover back on, new gasket, etc., etc., I want to run the engine, which is probably what I'm going to do next, which will involve putting some sort of fake fuel tank on it. I should have a syringe around here somewhere. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking maybe I don't. I might just put the fuel tank back on it. I want to check all the exhaust is all buttoned up and everything else and all tight and what have you. And yeah, that's actually it. And then it's the front brake. And as soon as the front brake is sorted, and that's just, I've worked, the pistons are fine. Everything else is fine. It just wants a little bit of a clean. And I've got some new pads for it. Special Grimeca pads, etc. Directly from Italy or whatever, you know, because apparently that's what they're. And other than that, they stick the cagey thing back on and we're all good to go. And yeah, I'm hoping that this will be fairly straightforward. Oh, bloody hell. Right. I finished filling it up with oil as well. So that's all done. But we'll see how many bolts we got left over at the end of it all. I'm amused at the fact that at the moment it sounds a bit like the start part for teacher. Bit of choke, bit of choke. Oh yeah. Doesn't like that I'll run into it. Needs a bit of choke, needs a bit of choke. But yeah. First time oh, still half the fuel left as well. I can't fault it. Alright, I'll have a mad 5 minutes to get a few bits and pieces sorted. It's interesting. It occasionally decides it doesn't want to run. At the moment, I'm putting it down to it just being British, you know. I'd understand even more if it was French, but it's not, it's British. So perhaps it's just having a bad day. Perhaps its mental health isn't all it's cracked up to be. I don't know. So I'm concerned about the clutch, but I'll be honest, I'm not going to know until I get it up the road and back. I've adjusted it according to its, so there's the right amount of alleged travel there. There's a bit much screw on it for my liking, but I have a feeling that we'll find out. It either is or it isn't, do you know what I mean? And it might be that I'm sat here in 2 days' time going, I should have taken all this apart and done all this and done all that. It is what it is. If I've got to move the MOT, then I've got to move the MOT. It's not the end of the world. This is not my only mode of transport. So anyway, we've got it running. What I want to do is that's got to be done now. I've got to change the pads on this. It looks fairly simple. I'll get some copper grease and some new pads all on that. That's fine. The caliper is not seized. It is not leaking. It is as it is. I am good with that. What else have we got to do? The tank is going on. Then that cover is going on. Well, actually the tank, and then I'm going to run some fuel through it and just let it sit here and idle for a bit whilst I go around and check everything. We are not leaking anymore, which is great. I'm really happy about that. And why isn't this working? Oh, there it is. We're not leaking anymore, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, I did take the opportunity, and this might have gone a bit far, because I found the standard lamp to be a bit poor in here. So what have we got there? Lights. Check that out. Hang on. I put the bulb that everyone fits to them. I mean, seriously, and it's more about being seen, because obviously with it being green, you wouldn't want it blending into everything, would it? I mean, honest to God, that is wow. Yeah. Anyway, I'm hoping that's MOTable. Looks all right. You know, there's a pattern on it, so we'll find out. But the hive mind said that it was the bulb to fit, so I put a lot of oil in, and I kept filling it because it wasn't right. We're on the stick, which is something. And what was happening is I put all the oil in. I put 3 litres in to start with, run it a little bit, put a bit more in, run it a little bit, put a bit more in, and it just kept. It was down there. I thought, this is really bloody odd, so I put more oil in, and I kept putting more oil in, and then suddenly it was coming back out the top, and I thought, well, why is that suddenly decided it was going to be there? I siphoned a bit more back out, and now it appears to have dropped. And I'm assuming that airlock E-type thing settling itself down. Now, there's enough in there at the moment for it to be right. I'll top up as in when it needs to be topped up, because I've got. But it did take a hell of a lot of oil. And I read the words. I went with the hive mind first to say, oh, I tell you what, you add the oil, and I followed the process, and I did it bit by bit, and it still decided it was going to throw a tantrum at me. So I shall leave this for now, and I shall let it, and like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a bit of fuel through it, and let it tick and what have you, and just let it sit there and do what it needs to do, because it you know, is the system off a MT500. Now the pads are not done on it. They're not. I've pushed this out a bit far. The pads are not done on it. They appear to be serviceable. However, I'm not. There is a bit of an uneven. They've been stood a bit. Might have a bit of contamination, that type of thing. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to nip these out here, and I'm going to put a fresh set in, because they're not expensive, and let's face it, brakes, shouldn't mess around with brakes now. We've got a little clip here, you pull that out of there, I should imagine that comes off there. I'll check whether we put copper coat on them, probably did, knowing him. But that's this is where I nearly always lose this E-clip. Hey! Put you in here for now. cold something. I think you'll see better days though. Right, so we're comparing those to a new set. Brenda. Well, if that's new, I'd say we got about 60% less on that one. They're not handed, so let's see what we got here. Oh. Oh, then did you put? I think you probably did. Oh. Right. So. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not I don't know whether this is necessary on these particular units or not, but the way I figure it is what I'm going to do where I'm putting it. What I'm going to do at all. So, let me slot these back in here. Go back on like that. At the moment I've got 25 different experienced MT owners going, no, you don't do it like that! Which one do these take? Oh. This one. Front brake sorted. Tank sorted. Airbox, need to tighten that back up. Rear cages, etc, etc. Yeah, let's put all that back on. Yeah, because then, once I've done all that, we can figure out what bolts I've got left over, of which there will probably be a few. It's alright, that.